The House with a Clock in Its Walls was directed by Eli Roth and stars Jack Black and Cate Blanchett and is the story of a young orphan named Lewis who after a tragedy moves in with his uncle who he learns is a warlock searching for a clock trapped within the walls of his house that has the power to bring about the end of the world. I'm sorry this review is so late. For one, my wife and I went on vacation for our anniversary, and then as soon as I got back, I got extremely sick, and I am still sick. I have a really bad cold, and my voice is really messed up, and I'm going to power through this review anyway. I went and saw this with my friend last night, and I brought a stack of napkins into the theater like this big. By the end of the movie, I had used all of them, so I am just a bucket of filth right now, and we're going to get through this review and have fun. Eli Roth, up until now, has been primarily known for horror films or rated R films, very gory films, and so this is a bit of a departure for him, a PG-rated family movie. And I was very surprised to see him in pretty much top form here. I've never been a huge fan of Eli Roth's movies, and this is probably my favorite one of his. I think that he has brought something to this film that allows it to be a little boundary pushing in regards to what can be in a PG-rated family horror film. Because there's some imagery in this movie that I can see a lot of kids being very disturbed by. This could have an effect that Large Marge in Pee-wee's Big Adventure had on kids, or certain other Disney films that have very frightening moments. This isn't a Disney film, but it is definitely one aimed at families, and I can tell you that when I bought my ticket at the theater, the manager looked at me and my friend and he was like, dude, just so you know, like 4 kids ran out of that theater today crying. For myself, those types of experiences were very integral to me as a kid and discovering film and my love of film. Whenever I saw something that did actually disturb me when I was young, I was fascinated by it. Maybe at first I didn't want to look at it, but then later I wanted to, and I wanted to know more about this subject. I was a weird little kid who liked that type of entertainment. I liked being scared. I was fascinated by haunted houses. Halloween was interesting to me. Scary stuff was interesting. And this film is aimed at young children like that who other people might consider weird. A major theme of the film is that being weird is great. Cate Blanchett's character says that it's the nuts in her cookies that make them special. And that's kind of what the message behind the film is that if you are unique, different, kind of strange, that's great. Embrace that. And if the end result is that some parents are upset because the film is a little bit boundary pushing for the PG rating, well, that's going to happen. Most of the films that impacted me when I was a kid were films that perhaps should not have been PG, like Jaws or Raiders of the Lost Ark or Temple of Doom, which kind of helped catapult the eventual PG-13 rating into existence. The production design of the film is one of the best parts. It takes place in the 50s, and it definitely has an aesthetic that tributes those old-fashioned horror films of that time period. It feels almost like a feature-length episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark or the Goosebumps TV show, but just given a much better treatment in regards to big budget territory. It feels like the type of entertainment that I would like to have seen more of coming out of the 90s when we had such great horror for kids in the 90s and on television. The performances were very good. I like Jack Black quite a bit in this role. Cate Blanchett, as always, was magnificent. Kyle MacLachlan, who I did not know was in the film, was a nice surprise. The young boy, Owen Vaccaro, really good stuff. I mean, in all honesty, I can't believe how surprised I was watching the film because I had no expectations going in. But it's the type of movie that it consistently builds a sense of actual suspense, but it's fun. You know, you're able to have a good time with it because you recognize it has that PG rating, but with Eli Roth behind the camera, there is something about it that feels like it's pushing it to the point where you have a sense of uncertainty towards what they could actually get away with. Unfortunately, though, there's humor spread about throughout the film that feels almost like it was contractually obligated or something. There's random poop jokes, and one towards the end involving a character getting shrunk down that worked for like a second, and then it was just way too long. But the poop jokes, I don't really understand why there are so many. And the film seems to think they are really funny, and they're just not. It was almost eye-rolling. It was almost like, hey, you were at sort of a higher level than I expected you to be, and now you have a cat tree pooping. That's so funny. Like it's just kind of old. But I also recognize that as a film that is already far scarier than most PG films for kids, you have to have moments where they laugh and feel a little safe. but as an adult, it just took me out of the film. I haven't liked too many of Eli Roth's films, so I didn't know what to expect going in, and I feel like he kind of revitalized himself with this picture. And his next film on his IMDb, it also involves a group of children that's possibly attached with Jim Carrey, so I don't know if that'll be PG-13 or rated R or PG, but I would love to see what else he can do with this type of film. I'm going to give The House with a Clock in Its Walls a B. Also, I do want to give one more special thank you to Wix. Please do check out this link in the description below to learn more about how you can create your own website in a very simple and easy to use way. They have so many creative tools, and their editor is very easy to use, and I had a lot of fun doing it. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. I actually got through this without having to use these tissues even once, so I feel pretty good about that. Thanks, guys, as always. Look forward to more reviews very soon. If you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.